ribbons we make money. Them feel like say I go get money.
Alright. Careful.
Mix Master G.
We stay rich ribbons we make money. Them feel like say I go get money. Children just call it jet me play money. Yeah, I'm so rich, them feel say I cocaine money. Yeah, cocaine money. Yeah, cocaine money. 200 carat on me neck, it's so heavy. Yeah, cocaine money. Yeah, cocaine money. Me haters feel say I cocaine money. JCF feel say I cocaine money. Yeah, cocaine money. Yeah, cocaine money. Too rich, cocaine money.
Realistic sound start sell whites down like coffee stove. Hotel kitchen now wash off your clothes. 17 shooter fish at half a nose. Suck on the hear that. Yeah me killer. Dance off it toast. Killer, bun pop off the most. Rich long time we not chat on no boss. Hey realistic sound. Hey you no mix and mingle. Remember we full of chips like Pringle. Run the matic pass single. Hole in a face like dimple. Pussy a chrome in a waist and me wrinkle. Master G everything cool and simple. Fling in a hole and sink you. If I evil them know we are simple.
Belly sip me meds heavy. Steady one. Good fat like collard, sing sweet like bass. Too heavy after a sip and belly send. Brand new. My tasty gas 2020 Chevy pan it told me I say it. Make sure the chef cooking with the pot if a boy and Shelly. People from me athlete start 31 belly not a creek. I hit the panic, make it dark got us in a me darling. Boy I go from me that me start to the fly gas. Face me no care which part. Run back, yeah hook which craft. People
Bone shaking and count and make me skull upset. No, done set. Back of the class, man, on a subject. England gal in order to be my one rough. Stage pop the money hard, but you no drunk yet. Drift the cone hard and make she get upset. You want money on the subject. You want money on the subject. Grab card, bad dad, spin down, low fraud. Ha, science, hold on. Bone shaking and count and make me skull upset. No, done set. Back of the class, man, on a subject. England gal in order to be my one rough sex. Stop the money hard, but you no drunk yet. Drift the cone hard and make she get upset. You want money on the subject. You want money on the subject. Grab card, bad dad, spin down, no fraud. Ha, science, hold on, try PDF file ready. New pan belly, can't whoop on belly. Ratchet in my ears, now I send him down a medic. May have the soul, she's skull have good credit. Bum shaking a count and make me skull upset. No, done set. Back of the class, man, on a subject. England gal in order to be my one. Stop the money hard, but you know so mad I make she get it. You want money on the subject.
say you're bad from rich bad. Tell up the winner gun dip that. Like Chinese war so the dog. Jump it up and make a fall from your disc dog. You know one none of this cars, man a big dog. I saw you disappear as if I never did ban. Me no walk up I mean I just a sing song. With the people your mother tell you keep from. See tech full of band like.
Yes, you know we here. Recovery families back in the building. So just like that mix had to come out swinging, we had to take it back, jump in our time capsule and rewind the year. Start with our new residents at the White House. The White House. We just gotta we gotta bring it up to March Madness, but we came out swinging with the Eagles, but we can't start in February. We got to throw it back a little bit, jump in the time capsule. We are going to get into topics today, but right now we are going to bring you up to where we started, and that was the Eagles win this year. We had to throw it back a little bit. We've been gone a little too long. Eagles Nation in here did not get to celebrate our championships, and so we have Mixmaster G. Tell them about it. From long time.
From long time, I have to do something. You know? Because you know the thing is, sometimes people do see support and they feel like you just have bag and wagon, listen.
Exactly, but we've been rocking with them for a while. This half of the crew anyway. 40, we gonna say 40-0 because we started counting after 40. And we started letting them score at that point. So we're gonna let them have their moment.
Just remember, this is the coolest time you ever see second stringers in a Super Bowl playing, you know.
Exactly. But we've done some things this year. I hate to say it. Sorry, Skids fans, or Commanders, rather, fans. Y'all have to admit, y'all were hyped up this year. We let y'all have your run, but that was something to see. The Chiefs, we knocked them off after they played us. We got our lick back. Well deserved. But right now, it is March, and it was a mad, mad March. So, we're going to talk a little bit about, not really so much about the brackets, but at least our Terps. Both sides of our Terps was doing things. They showed out this year, but unfortunately, South Carolina, that Dawn and her crew yesterday knocked them off at this week 16. So I think it was like they had them for a while, and I was nervous, but it was like I think 70. What was it? 61.
It was I think it was 71 to 60.
71. Yeah.
It was a close game, though.
It was a close game for a while. It was like when it was like 30, 33, 31, something like that. And we thought they had it. But you know what? I'm still rooting for the Terps. That was nice to see Angel Reese come in, to the College Park to support her brother. So, yeah, 71-67. That was that. There's their ending. But we are going to talk eventually, guys, about our residents at the White House. We seem to have two presidents, maybe a king and a vice president, and a whole lot of people. We're going to tread lightly on these topics as it does affect other diasporas, including our own. We are focused a lot here on the Caribbean diaspora, and we must talk about it. But we have to tread lightly, people. Free speech. If free speech was given to us, but it's not so free. When you're in media, you can be censored. So we will talk up about it. But Mix, you got something for us for a little bit, or?
Talking about Trump, it can't tread lightly because it's either you like him or you hate him, and there's no middle ground. There's no middle. Well, I kinda, it's either you like him or you don't.
Well, you have to take it back from where and that's why I said we had to jump in our time capsule. We got to take it back from the actual, voting from there, because the issue originally was. People started to dislike each other because we do have a thing in this country called, your right to vote. But a lot of people voted not having all the facts after we had talked about it for so long. I mean, from the beginning of this campaign, we've talked about the Project 2025s and all of these different things. And I am so sorry we weren't on the air to give you these details. We don't like to be Debbie Downers, but we'd like to keep you informed here on the Recovery Show, because when you are having a bad day, a bad year, or maybe a bad 4 years, or maybe a bad decade, whatever we're projecting, we are here to lift you up and recover. So the fact of the matter is we first had issues in our community with people, saying they wanted to vote for a person or not voting for another person. And that was the first dispute on the table. So, whether we can work with peers after they've had, they made a choice. We're not going to say if it was a bad choice or you guys can. If it was a bad choice or a good choice, but, that's where it started. It started to divide families. I certainly know a couple of people that broke up, one on one side, one on the other side.
You ain't no Trump supporter sitting in my bed.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Sir.
It caused havoc at home.
No, sir.
It literally broke up homes. That was surprising to me. I think that was the first time we've actually seen where, there was a candidate that was dividing homes, dividing, co-workers, dividing a lot of things.
Well, speaking of co-workers, for those of you who are listening online, if you have had any, or you or anybody have been affected by the federal layoffs, drop it in the chat for us and let us know your thoughts on that, because sometimes we don't understand how things affect people because we are not close to close to it. So if you or your family member or anybody was affected or by the federal layoffs that Trump has, just drop in the chat, let us know.
Yeah, your company.
Let us know. Yeah, I don't have anybody personally, but in my work, I came across a young lady who wasn't directly a federal worker, but she's a medical assistant, and the clinic she has gets federal dollars, and so she was laid off because of that. and she was telling me, like, you know, she said she had to go to her car and cry because she was just in the process of moving and trying to get her life together, and now this has happened. And it's like, wow, we didn't, you know, you're not thinking of the trickle down effects of it, because we're hearing so much about the federal workers, which they are a big deal too, but this is top, second, third, fourth, and it's coming down
Well,
the
it's
road.
coming down to the
So
private sector eventually, because if you're cutting funding for programs and you're cutting jobs, what do you think those people are going to do? They're going to come into the private sector. You lay off 1,000 federal workers today. You don't think they still have mortgages, they still have car notes, they
Yeah.
still got insurance, they got kids, babies they're raising, private schools.
my thing is this:
You
how does
understand?
all that cut? How does all that save the money? How all that saving money?
Well, there's so much
How?
to cover with this particular topic. We're going to be talking about this topic for weeks, and we're going to take it back since we were off the air. We're going to have to break it. You cannot digest this in the time that we have.
Right, and then you still have to talk about how it affects us Caribbean people too.
I'm gonna add this though. All right. So say you have a building, right? Only federal workers in this building, right? Federal workers in this building. Outside that building is a Caribbean restaurant. This building shuts down. Who supports the Caribbean restaurant? No.
True.
Because all the workers are now fired and they're not coming to work. So if they're not coming to work, who's buying the food from the restaurants outside?
And this is the same administration that claimed we were having issues. They wanted all of the federal workers to come back to work and stop working at home because they said that, you know, things were saturated outside. They wanted them to come back so they can, you know, stimulate the economy again. You brought them back to fire them. There's so many things we have to unpack with this situation, but and we want to like go here, there, and everywhere, but we can't. So we're going to have to figure out how we're going to break this down. But I think because it's influencing what's happening outside of the country now, we're going to have to take it back for our listeners and give them the opportunity to call in here, write us, text us, get on our socials.
Yeah,
we're
gonna
going to introduce a whole new segment.
Yeah,
saying,
we gonna
talk
have,
your feelings.
Yeah, Trump dump day.
Tell us how you really feel.
Tell us
That's
how
what we
you
want about
feel.
these segments.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel
about.
about Donald Trump.
Yeah, say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest. Because I'm.
Yo, the real thing going right now, y'all be careful saying the chest.
And that's what I'm saying.
And disclaimer, if you're a student and you're on a student visa, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, what eventually, essentially, we're just joking. But people still want to be able to express themselves. So even if you could come and call us up and be anonymous or whatever, and just let us know how you feel, because this is heavy. This is heavy for people. Some people are afraid things happen to their families getting deported right and left for no reason. And then how does that affect us as Caribbean people living in and around DC? Does it truly affect us as Caribbean people? So we need to talk about it.
My biggest thing is the fact that I wanted to very much avoid this situation.
Why?
Because a lot of my family are federal workers. A lot. People say I have friends and I have actual immediate family that are federal workers. But the fact of the matter is, one of the things that I think with this administration is the fact that they want us to be dumb. There's two things I've learned since January 20th when the residents moved into the White House.
You mean 34?
Well, this is what I've realized. One thing is we're getting so much information. This is the first time I felt in my how many years of living, I ain't gonna tell y'all in my age, but I felt like we were all forced to be political. We're getting so much information at the rate that we're getting it. It's making a lot of people anxious. It's making a lot of people tired. We don't want to turn on the TV. We don't want to get on the phone.
No.
We don't want to do any of that. We want to listen to the radio because here we are talking about it. So this is the first time we've seen a president every single day, several times a day. I promise you, they just need to give that man a show. You understand? But I think the thing is to make us weaker in our minds. We have a lot of people that are there that are not. Let me tread lightly. They don't have all of the tools in the toolbox to do the job. And so we're talking to you guys because there's sometimes we have to educate the miseducated, the people that understand differently.
But not if they're not willing to, because the miseducated are trying to willfully stay miseducated. Because from the time he was talking all that crap couple
During the
years ago,
campaign run.
people have been educating. There's been think pieces upon think pieces of people breaking down piece by piece of everything he said, and you will go read the comments and they'll still be like, well, that don't mean anything. They want to stay dumb, so let them stay dumb.
Happening. But I'm coming from the aspect of where people, they're actually saying things. You have a press secretary that says something contradicting what her boss had just said, and that's what
don't
I
care.
feel like, not necessarily us being or us misunderstanding, but literally getting misinformation. And
They
that's
don't
why I
care.
say I think it's important that our community still about it. It might not be the everyday, we're going to say, because it's something we're all living. And like I said, it's going across the globe, across the seas, across the oceans right now, especially in the Caribbean. So we're going to touch on it lightly, every time. We're trying not to bring you guys down. This is the Recovery Show. We try to, again, build you up. But I think it's important because I think one of the biggest things right now is to put us all in a box where we just refuse. We plan to ignore and we refuse to continue to learn.
I just got one question. Anybody got a grandmama or auntie or uncle or somebody who is on the main line with Jesus? Because we're gonna need it. They said, tell them what you want. If y'all on the main line, tell them what you want, because this gonna be.
Because
a
this
long
week
4
we're
years.
removing statues from the Smithsonian. Like we have to talk about this stuff in real time. I'm so mad that we missed so much time. The Black Lives Matter Avenue, that all of that
Stuff that have nothing to do with.
You understand?
I'm going to bring the economy out of inflation, bring down.
Because
gas prices.
mashing up that road,
and,
mashing up that road costs so much money. I mean, they couldn't paint over it. They literally couldn't paint over it.
This whole thing with the DI make you feel like, yo, I could literally walk up to a building and say, you know what, I'm a doctor. You understand? No qualification, no,
Yeah.
because I black, or I Latino, or you gay, that you could just walk up to a hospital and say he's a doctor and get a job as a doctor.
Yeah,
You feel like
without
you're
no
qualified.
qualification.
But these are the things that I
That's
talk about.
stupid.
And people literally believe this.
The
though.
kind of stupidness.
I want to, one of the segments to touch on the boldness of some people. The boldness of some
Listen,
people.
tell
Because
y'all
I
something.
feel like people have gotten so bold. Like people got beer muscles now that this particular individual is in the White House. People that you used to have conversations with and be cordial because you knew there was always something about them. All of a sudden, I live in
They
a
gonna F around
neighborhood.
and find out.
I live in a neighborhood where there's not very much people that look like me and I mean in so much parts of my demographic, my age, my skin color, all of that. And I've always lived peaceful because I mind my business, But I've just felt like a lot of people have gotten so bold, and it's in the jobs. You go to the grocery store, you're getting it, and we are going to figure out how to navigate this with you guys because we're all going through it. We're going to touch
Ain't
on
nothing to
it.
nave.
Oh, we have
You
to.
come at me, I'ma come at you. What you mean?
But how far is that gonna
Like,
get you?
It's gonna get me to beat your ass. Like
I don't know.
no,
I don't know if that's what we want to tell people.
Listen, but I'm not telling nobody to do nothing. I'm just saying, if I'm in the grocery store and Karen come up to me with her Karenism, she gonna F around and find out. Because I'm not about to stand there and be diplomatic with you, especially when they come up to you to try to hit your hand. And no. Now, if you stay a step away from me, and you could talk your talk, but when you trying to come up in my face and your bull does spit hit my nose,
Yeah.
no, you just gonna have to find out what happens.
I think
They're
this
gonna be
is
talking
enough,
y'all. Look at Miss Trini beat up that lady boy.
We're gonna call this place the resident. We're gonna learn how to find terms to define what we're saying. But we're gonna call this place the resident, and we're gonna have.
I call him 34.
We are going to have our discussions on the resident.
34 for 34 felonies. He's 34.
many weeks to come. But let's
All
get
right,
into
moving
something
on.
real quick. It's it breaks my heart to give bad news, but Sean Kingston.
Oh yeah, that's so.
That breaks my heart. Like
He's so stupid.
it's
There's no other way to explain that. Just stupid.
well for the people
Shut
that don't know, Sean Kingston and his mother.
And your mother.
And his mother. We're not going to give their names out and all that stuff. I mean, you guys.
I don't know his mama name, but she's stupid too.
This is really tough as a parent, as a person that loves music. It's tough to see these kinds of situations with these artists that, you know, there's so many sides to the story, and because we weren't in the courtroom and we weren't in the actual situations when they were happening, it's tough to really speak on them. But my heart goes out to him because I feel like here's the thing. We get bits and pieces of the information. I'm going to say my heart goes out to him because the bit of information that I got was, you know, they were found guilty, and it seemed like, you know, it was something about a car and a watch. You know, this
that he didn't
money.
Bring back.
Right, but you, when you hear the other side, you can take it like this. Take it like this. You don't know what contracts were signed. You don't know what these music companies and these executives and all the fine prints and all of these things. Look at the situation with Drake. Look at the situation with Drake. It's safe to say he's coming out against these music industry people and all these other people. All of these artists are saying they won out because of these contracts. Why don't you have even an inkling of sympathy for him? Because there's a whole barrier between what they learn and you know, the people that grew up here, you know, how they navigate things, the people that are behind them back coaching them on how to do all this stuff. I mean, think about it that way.
You might try to find the most diplomatic way to say you're unstupidness, because he unstupidness, because this is not his first offense.
Okay.
This has been going on since for a while now. He borrows things because you know how celebrities may get their certain things on, I guess, I don't know if the word is consignment. I don't know what the word is, but you know, you got to pay it back.
Understood.
And if you don't pay it, you're defrauding. And he's done this to a jeweler. He's done this to a car company, and then gone with your mother now to do the same thing. Yeah. So if there wasn't evidence that this been happening, or the people and them didn't walk with the evidence, he would. But
don't get me wrong. I don't condone anybody stealing or you know. But I always worry about them because I always worry about them because again, there's a different way of teaching things, you know, out there.
It's no teach nothing. This is not a teachable moment in a sense that.
Well, it is a teachable moment. No, what I mean, this is a don't do this, don't try this.
This is well, let me take that back. It's a teachable moment to young people who come into the business and think that these people are flossing jewelry and having these cars and they don't own them. They have to give them back at the end of the photo shoot. You have to give them back at the end of whatever time they gave you, or pay the money and own it outright. And if you don't pay it, they come in to repossess it from you. And if they don't have it, then you going to jail. They're going to put you up on jail. So for he and his stupid mother to be caught up in the same thing, well, that's just stupidity. While you're saying, Guyana, your eyes pass me. Is that's what it is? I use it right? Your eyes pass me, or whatever they say.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I don't get it because the headlines are reading like greed, and again
it should say show off, because that's what he wants
because that's another thing. I don't understand what's the need to this day and age when eggs are expensive and people really literally can't pay their bills, their mortgage, and all these different things. A chain and a watch. I've become the person over the last few years where I'm just like, forget the brands. I refuse unless I got a contract with the brand.
Yeah, and
you understand? I'm just not promoting you that way.
And the reports are saying the way his mother was caught up was because she was the one that would ensure that the delivery dates was there and that payments were made via the fraudulent and worthless wire transfers. So you're paying the money, but it's not going through. So you're making it seem as though, I pay for it, but they're not going through. Yeah. So, you and your mother
20 years. 20 years.
Yeah, you and your mother stupid.
20 years.
You and your mother stupid. Oh, for what? For some jewelry and a car and to look good?
So 20 years for the mom.
20 years?
She was immediately taken into custody. She's going to remain in jail until her sentencing. And he is on house arrest.
So the mother got 20 years?
Yeah. Then he's going to remain on house arrest. He has a $1 million, I believe, bond. it's just I
No,
don't
you and your mother going to
understand.
jail for 20 years. Now, and I can't
That's
say,
crazy.
you understand? Like, that is so unnecessary. Like, to me, that's unnecessary jailness. Not on the judge part, but on the fact that you caused yourself
and that's what I said.
to go to jail
the
for
sympathy
stripping.
is not because I want to say, oh, feel sorry for him because he did something wrong and got caught. The sympathy is for the fact that you always want to know, like, what's your upbringing? Because if the mother wasn't involved, he would have been like, who raised you? You understand?
Well, we
But the
already see who raised him.
But that is the problem, and that's why I have the sympathy, because I'm like, oh man,
I
girl, you're
don't
gonna
know.
put us in a situation for people to say, well, you see, these single mothers, they always got,
Nah.
It turns into a different conversation.
No, she's stupid and he's stupid, and they two stupidies together.
But
in
that
jail.
was, I mean, it's bad that somebody's gonna waste their life over this. Hopefully, the up and coming artists learn something from it, but I doubt it.
But they can get 20 years.
They could get 20
Yeah,
years.
20 years.
Yeah,
Because they
up
haven't
to
done the
20.
sentencing yet.
Yeah.
They just found them guilty. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. That's quick.
Yeah. So from one
That's quick.
stupidity to another stupidity, Miss Lady. So the Trinidad streets was a buzzing last week. Oh my God, it was crazy. The Trinidad streets was buzzing because this influencer, I don't even know if she's an influencer, but apparently she lives in Trinidad. Her name, I've said the names because it's out there already, Gabby Fee. She decided to make a video talking
God.
about her experience first time in Trinidad for Trinidad Carnival a month ago. Oh, this month, sorry. And in between the video, she goes, yeah, I had something to eat and I really had to go to the bathroom. And so I decided to cup a squat. Oh, she said no. She said, I went in a crypt, one of those cryptid, what are they called? Grave sites. And she decided to cup a squat and, went number one and number two.
Defecate over the
That
people
were
that-
too big for me. Number one and number two. I tried to stumble over my tongue there.
Urinate and defecate.
Yeah,
over
but she did
people's,
it more than
headstones.
urinate. She did number two on the people grave. And I don't know if she thought that was we were just gonna bypass that, but the Trinidad internet dragged this girl for filth, as they should. You're going to the people country to tell the whole. First of all, you should have just kept that to yourself. That to
For
yourself.
one, just people share
Yeah,
too. You share too much. That was 60 seconds of fame. She was going to use that, and boy, did she
literally blow up.
she blew up. Because, for one, I don't know why influencers, period, feel the need to leave for where they are with all the mass confusion that they got going on, to go someplace else, to bring down. They find the most negative things to say. They're not going to come and tell you the parts that they enjoy. They're not going to come and tell you the new exciting things they learn and the exciting people that they meet. You see, everybody's not the same. Everybody's not the same. A lot of these influencers, they just want something to make them stand out from everybody else that went to the carnival. So she took a stretch. I mean, that girl took a leap. And then she tried to clean it up and make another video. And that's when it really
That's
hit
when
the
it,
fan.
because at that point, keep your, listen, you done say what you say. I understand she was trying to apologize, but then to come back and say, well, I didn't really take a dump on the thing. I went next to it. As if that makes it any better.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been talked
Like,
about.
you
at
should have just
all.
left it alone.
I'm confused because who these people really work for?
Well, apparently she got hired by the band Yuma, and it was so funny because the people were dragging Yuma as well, and then Yuma had to put out a statement. They was like, don't associate. Don't associate.
Yeah.
We hired her for something, and then once Carnival over, that was it. But at the end of the day, I feel like this is also a teachable moment for even influencers and people who post things on social media, even like myself. Not everything you want to talk about or say on social media, because I don't know if that was her intention to go viral, but to go viral for that that's not it.
There has
That's
to be
not
a
it.
code of conduct, and that's the thing that I don't like too much with
Code
the
of
internet.
conduct with the internet.
But that's what I'm saying. That's something I don't like too much with the internet, because there is no code of conduct. And now with this free speech, you understand, people literally feel like they can say what they want without consequences. Now, granted, I don't know how she could keep a corporate job, how she can do anything after such a public embarrassment. You understand? To me, it doesn't seem like influencers or businesses would want to hire her for something.
Absolutely not.
After that.
No, they're not.
You understand? I don't know how she walked the streets with a man, because really and truly, people going to be looking at him sideways. You understand?
Itty bam bam.
And that's
Itty
the
bam
thing.
bam.
This type of stuff carries you, and
Itty
it
bam.
needs to have some type of limit.
But then I see she posting that she's a singer. I don't know how, but she.
But this is what you're gonna be foreverly remembered for.
This song, she voiced not bad though. She have a good voice.
Yeah,
But the help of
it's
auto tune.
But it's
That
always,
auto tune on the video. That was auto tune.
But this is gonna carry her to the grave.
Well, I don't know, but Itty Bam Bam needed to stop. She it.
This
That's
is going to carry her for a while, and I really like our young men and women out there. Come on, like I get it, Everybody feel like this social media thing, this media thing, is where the money is and all of that. But don't sell your soul for, because embarrassment. I promise you. Whose corporate job is she going to sit at the head of?
It's too far gone. It's nothing you can do about it at this point. It's too far gone. Everybody doing everything for likes and giggles and
clout
and clout and whatever. So it's too far gone. Like the one who posted the thing about Young Brother the other day. You didn't think that would have went viral. That's exactly what he wanted, or she wanted. I don't know, but that's exactly what they wanted. You put this big long argument about Young Brother, huh? Well, apparently they said it's a woman turned man, yeah, without, yeah,
Okay.
a tree without the wood is basically what they say. Yeah.
Well, listen, we got to give y'all some music. We're back. We're happy to be back. We're happy we have y'all back. We're happy to be back together. But we are going to have to find a way to talk to y'all about this. These juicy Miss Trini, hot itchy fingers over there. But we gotta get back to the music. While we are here to vibe. We must talk, because we must stay included and educated and up to date, whether the current events are depressing or not. But Mix always got something in the lifeline for you.
Well, we'll be back with some more hot topics coming up next. But first, we gotta vibes it up with a little bit of music from Mix Master G.
So tell me, how you get so bad. Tell me, how when you get so bad. And she say when the music play, that's when she escape. Tell me, how you get so bad. That you're bad, still you're good. To all you're good, me love your body. And when you're bad, it does some mad me. Need some of your goods. And when the baseline take over you, look how your waistline a move. She say good girls get wild when the music feels nice. So tell me, how you get so bad. Tell me, how when you get so bad. You got me weak, like you casting a spell on me. But in your trap now I don't want to leave. I can't eat, girl, I can't sleep. Cause you're running through my mind. Can't stop thinking about that wine. Staring like you catching feelings. From that sweetness. Flirting, so healing. I can't get enough of this feeling. Flirting, can't believe it.